Hello? Oh, I'm live now. Let me just turn this off. Let me just pause this. There we go. Hello, everybody. This is Aspie, and you're watching The Incredible Aspie. And I forgot to do one last thing before I started this stream, but anyway, let me just pop out this chat real fast. Pop out chat, and I'll take it over here. Then I'll make this smaller. All right. Here we go. And there we go. Anyway, back to this. Hello, everybody. This is Aspie, and you're watching The Incredible Aspie. So I'm here messing around with this for a little while. Yeesh, I hate. Gee, why is this so wide? Oh my gosh, they always gotta whenever you pop this out, it's always so horrible. Well, anyway, if you probably can tell by now, I'm taking the political compass. I'm gonna be taking the political compass test right here, and yeah, I'm live. This is the this is a really good test because it is like very well planned out. I think it's very efficient the way they do this. So I'm going to take this test and see what my oh, hey Doppelstein, how you doing? I'm gonna be taking this test in order to see what my political ideology is, because people's their ideas of the world change over time, and I took this test a while back, but I really want to see what my results are again. And also somebody in the chat can help me. If I get stuck up on a question, maybe they can help me with this. This will take a little while because I'm very slow at taking tests, but hi man, I am great, and you? I'm doing very good. I'm going to start taking this test right now, Doppelstein, and we'll see what my results are. Okay, English. And all right, first question. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. Well, of course, if that's inevitable, it shouldn't. Yes, a political compass. Yep, it is a political compass. If economic globalization, well, here, yeah, this is not one that's hard. I mean, if it should. Obviously, if globalization is inevitable, which if you read the Bible, it is. Not to bring any religious crap into here, but. Yeah, it should serve the primarily serve the interests of humanity. So I'll strongly agree with that one. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Well, it depends on whether or not what you consider whether or not you consider a right, or what do you consider your country? Do you consider the government? Because I won't always support the government, but is it the country in itself? So I'll always support but anyway, I think I might, not me, well, not whether it be right or wrong. Well, if it's the government, I think they may be talking about the government here, so I'll disagree with that. If you make a wrong decision, I'm not going to support you. No one chooses his or her country of origin, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Well, I don't agree with that. I mean, it's not wrong to be proud of your country. No one or his or so. If it's not foolish to be proud of your country. That's horrible, man. This chat now, the chat is distracting me. I strongly disagree with that. It's not wrong to be proud of your country. I'm proud to be American. Proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. All right. Okay, our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I disagree with that one. You didn't hit strongly disagree, you stupid. Oh, fine, I'll hit strongly disagree. I mean, the whole race realism crap. I mean, while there might be some validity. Oh, I love these. While there may. Oh, hi, I am Cancer 624. How you doing? I'm our race has while I do agree that there are genetic differences between the race, I don't think any of those qualities make any one race superior to the other. So I strongly disagree with that one. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think this refers to what you would call foreign policy, Americans' foreign policy. Sometimes you have to make friends with certain people in order to Hi, back away from the mic. Oh. Sorry. Let me turn. The gain is way up. Let me. Why don't I just put it over here? Is that better? Is that better? Hi, Ren. What's going on? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. What do you get? Oh, yeah, like foreign policy, you know, like Saudi Arabia, you know, we have to, like, well, we don't agree with like 95% of what they do. They still are against, some might say they're against, they're with us when it comes to ISIS. So the enemy of my enemy, I wouldn't call them friends. I would call them kind of quasi-allies, but when it comes to certain circumstances, I'll just slightly agree with that one, I guess. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. It depends on why in circumstances you would say justified. I mean, what do you mean? Military action in a way military action itself sometimes defies international law. But, you know, so sometimes defies international law. Man, that the chat is distracting me. I'm sorry. I don't know why I popped it out and put it on the side over there. Yeah, the enemy of our enemy is not necessarily your friend, but I could understand that's a kind of an enemy could bring people together. I understand that. Rin's right. Rin, you're right. Military action that defies international law. Yes, I'm going to agree with that one. Sure. There is not, because war in itself defies international law, I think, to a degree. I mean, there are rules to how you should kill each other. It's like, really? Whatever goes on in war is in war. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I mean, I don't mind teaching people about information, you know, entertaining. However, it can be somewhat, like, for example, you know, late night, the Late Show, you know, if you watch it, it is just cancerous. It is just going off far left-wing ideology constantly, and nobody ever, you know, there's no like other opinions, you know, and it's entertaining. Colbert, I think, is pretty funny, but at the same time, it's just absolutely. But it can be propaganda. So yeah, I'll slightly agree with that one. Yeah. All right. Next page. Oh, an IQ. It's not an IQ test. It's a political test. Pink rabbit tears. Must be an anti-vegan. Anyway. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. I'm going to disagree with that one, because the Scottish do not. You mean people don't hate? I mean, while there is somewhat of a hatred of the wealthy or the rich, nobody will ever watch. Rin says, however, you don't make your YouTube video entertaining. Nobody could ever watch. That's true. If it's not fun to watch, then it won't be. You know, nobody will watch it. But anyway, I'm getting off from topic here. People are ultimately divided more by class than I slightly disagree with that one. I mean, if you look at certain like nationalities, certain places, people hate each other, you know. So, well, at the same time, they don't hate each other as much. I think it's more universally, inductively, the rich are more likely to be jealous of the rich more than the. I remember Jordan Peterson said something very interesting, that it's not poverty in itself that causes crime, but that it's relative poverty that causes crime, meaning that people get very jealous very fast. So if a guy makes $60,000, if a guy makes $600,000 and you make less than $30,000, you're natural. Some people are going to be very jealous of that. Of course, there's many people with integrity who are just going to look at it and go, hey, lucky guy, I don't really care. So I'm going to slightly agree with that one a little bit more. People do, from different nationalities, sometimes absolutely hate each other. Have you seen what the Mexicans think of people from Honduras? It's just horrible. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Inflation goes up constantly, but in unemployment also, inflation is a thing that's in a way inevitable. When you have a growing economy, if there is no inflation to a degree is somewhat of a healthy thing as long as there's not too much of it or too little of it. You know, just a steady flow. But unemployment, the thing about unemployment is this. It's a very dubious statistic. Unemployment, it doesn't take into account the people who are just say, screw it, I'm not looking for work anymore. It doesn't take into account those people. So, anyway, I'm going to controlling inflation. So I'm going to say that controlling inflation is more important. Controlling inflation is more than unemployment. I somewhat agree with that. I'll somewhat agree with that. I could be completely wrong. Like if I saw the facts, I might, not agree with that. But I don't know anything. So, and nobody's telling me in the chat. So, because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. As a libertarian, as to all the libertarian fans out there, I'm gonna have to agree with this one. I mean, I'm a nature lover. I mean, I'm a gamesman. I love to hunt, and frankly, if corporations yes, they will destroy the wilderness if they are let. So I'm gonna agree with that. So I'm going to agree with that one. From according to his ability, from each according to his ability to each according to his need, is a fundamental good idea. Well, I'm not against a social safety net to a degree, but at the same time, if you are rich, from each to each according, I don't know. I disagree with that one because there's nobody. Is anybody watching this anymore? Is anybody? Let me check how many people are watching this video setting. Is anybody watching this still? 3 people are watching. Can somebody type something in the chat to make sure somebody's watching? So somebody's watching. Anyway, it's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. I mean, if you look at some of these... Oh, hi. Thank you for telling me. I didn't know. There's like 3 people. I think it said there were 3 people watching, but nobody was saying anything in the chat, so... Yeah, it's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled brand consumer product. I mean, water to a degree is a human necessity. I mean, it is. Yeah, I'm kind of being a hypocrite here, aren't I? Anyway, it's a sad. I don't care about bottled water. Yeah, Rin, me too, but. If somebody wants to bottle up water and sell it, I mean, I have nothing against that. I mean, you're going to be wasting a lot of plastic because you can just buy. I mean, the only reason why the bottled water industry still exists is because people still like it. They do things to the water to make it better for the human body. Like this smart water right here. They put stuff in it to make it, they change the pH level to make it healthier. So no wonder nobody's talking in the chat. You all think I'm distracting you. Please write in the chat as much as you can. I need help with this sometimes. But anyway, I disagree with that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Well, the whole point of capital, a big part of capitalism is private property, and I don't believe land should be, distributed by the government because, of course, you people that'll bring in massive bureaucracy, and that'd go fundamentally against my views. So land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. I disagree. I strongly disagree with that one. It goes against the entire idea of private property, so go down. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. The people in Wall Street do this a lot, and I slightly disagree with this. I think you should make your money on your merit rather than, screwing around with the financial system, so I'm going to agree with that one. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Holy crap. Listen, protectionism, I think they're talking about like trade limits and the TPC, and so on and so forth, trade. And Donald Trump talks a lot about limiting trade and Wow, what a vague question. I know, right? Sometimes protectionism, a lot of these questions are very vague. They're just trying to get a general overview of your ideals. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I'm a libertarian, and I believe in free trade, but also, actually, I disagree with this one. Yeah, I do, because I do not believe that that high amounts of protectionism is something that's very good for society. The only social, I might change my opinion on that in the future, but so far, I don't like. So far, the only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Well, I think they naturally provide a service to people by creating a product, but of course you should be paying back you should be paying back your shareholders, of course. So I'm going to agree with that one. The rich are too highly taxed. Well, here's the thing. This is one of the biggest controversies. Who is the rich? If you look at the line, the rich are people that make like $300,000, which if you look at the millionaires and billionaires, it's not a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's more than livable. In fact, hopefully I make that amount in my life, because hopefully I pass the CPA exam so I can make that amount. But the rich are, do I believe the rich are too highly taxed? Well, it depends on the circumstances too. I mean, if you look at America right now, Trump just created a massive tax plan. In order to, he brought down the corporate tax, brought down many estate taxes. So, do you think I think in today's circumstances, I think it's still slightly true, but I'm just going to say agree. I wish they put like a neutral thing in here so you could just say neutral. You have to pick one or the other. Pick one and stick with it. But anyway, yeah, rich people also use lots of tax cuts. Rich people also use a lot of tax cuts. That's true. So, disagree, agree, disagree, agree, disagree, agree. I'm in this circumstance. I'm just gonna disagree. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna take this test at the same way that it was going to, as if it was before the tax cuts. So I'm just going to agree with that one. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. This is going to be a big controversy, but I believe that if you do make more money and if you work by merit, you should be able to pay for better health care if you have better health. If you make more money. I mean, in America, you aren't just going to die just because. Of course, I think we should. I don't like America's healthcare system either. I do think that there are many problems with it, but I also don't think that a socialized healthcare plan is the option, a one-payer system, especially in America's circumstances. So I'm going to agree with that one. Like loopholes in this debate. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Well, I'm going to disagree with this one, because if a product misleads if a corporation misleads the people, they will eventually figure it out. Like what is it called? What was that called? The Pinto? Yeah, eventually people figured out what the Pinto was. What they did, they took out a $13 protection for the gas can. Now, when somebody was to rear-end you, you wouldn't just be injured, it would blow up. The Pinto would blow up. So but eventually Pintos don't exist anymore. That's because the free market, works. But the government, I do not think the government should be overbearing on business like that, because the government makes a lot of bad decisions. So I think while some people might think that some people dying because of the Pinto, I do think the government getting involved outdoes that risk. So I disagree with that. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. I mean, that is true. I mean, multinational corporations, people who go. I mean, if you want, I mean, there are horrible problems with monopolies back. It almost circumvented free trade by getting rid of all competition. I do not think. I think when corporations, when they start taking up too much of business, when they own way too much, it is just, it's terrible. I'm going to agree with that one slightly. While I don't like the government getting involved with multi-corporations, I do think at that extent it should be taken care of. The freer the market, the freer the people. The freer the market, the freer the people. That's a tough. I mean, I am a big free market man, of course. I believe in capitalism to the T. But there's been a lot of criticisms of laissez-faire capitalism. How it allows corporations to. Well, at the same time, it is the government helping with companies that usually leads to the most abuses. Like back in the 1800s, the government always helped the businesses when they were obviously helped the multi-corporations when they were abusing their employees and so on and whatnot. So I think it is. I think that while instead of just letting it go, if the government if unions started striking on corporations back in these days and nobody would, and the government just didn't get involved, I think it would have eventually worked itself out. So I'm gonna strongly agree with that one. Next page. Abortion. Oh, great. Abortion when the woman's life is not threatened should always be illegal. Oh, great. I'm being put on the spot now. Oh, dear. Abortion when a woman's life is not threatened should always be illegal. Well, I didn't think I would. There's no neutral one here, huh? You guys can start making jokes now. Abortion when the woman's life is not being threatened. Listen, when the woman's not, if it's like rape or I'm surprised they didn't add rape or incest to this. That's a load of hoo-ha. Listen, for rape or incest, I do think that it should be an option. I mean, most women who are raped or do suffer things like this don't get abortions. They usually choose to own the child, but I do not think that people should. But however, to this extent, when the woman's life is not threatened, of course, I do think that abortion is necessary when the woman's life is in danger, or it should be somewhat allowed. But if you go out and sleep with like 20 men on your own accord, and you, it's a complicated issue. I'm just going to disagree with this one because of the standard they used here. It was just terrible. All authority should be questioned. I strongly agree with that one. Hello, oh, hey, Mug the Orc. You missed me. I'm talking about abortion here. Anyway, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That was in the Old Testament, people. Okay, disagree with that one. Okay, we're in the New Testament where you should be forgiving. Of course, some punishment should be given, but I do not think that if you kill somebody, if a guy kills your mother, you should be allowed to kills your mother, you should be allowed to kill his mother. It's just stupid. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Whew, that's hey Rum of Org, how you doing? What do you think of this? Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. I'm a history buff. I believe that the museum is a very important part of America. I mean, of America. The system. They teach us about the past. They teach us about, but they're also somewhat of what you would call. But they're very important. But they're also tourist attractions. And if the museum fails, they can always put the artifacts and stuff into like a storage center, a national storage center. So I disagree. I strongly disagree. I disagree with that one. I disagree. I strongly disagree with that. I disagree with that one. Yeah. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I strongly disagree with this one. Every child should be should not make classroom. Of course. What does that mean, compulsory? I think I may have misread what that says. What does that mean, compulsory? Compulsory. Yeah, I'm against abortion. Yeah. But the only reason why I disagreed with this thing up here, abortion when the woman's life is not threatened should always be illegal, is because the standard was way too low. If they would have said, but to go to school, they have no. Of course, parents should always send their kids to school, but if the woman's life is threatened, I do think there should be an abortion. But I also think there should be an option for rape and incest victims. But for women who are, go out and be sluts and they expect for us to. I disagree with that because while I'm libertarian, I believe abortion should be legal. I do not believe that the taxpayer should be paying for it in any sense, state or federal. And enough of that. All people strong. So that means they have to go. Oh, it means they have to go. Thank you for telling me that. You make compulsory. I strongly agree with that. They're kids, of course. They're kids. They don't have the same rights. They have no civil rights or civil liberties. So, yeah. Of course, their parents should be the ones sending them to school, though. Oh, people have their rights. What about people who are sick? And what about people who are sick all the time? There should be a don't think about it. Or you get expelled because that doesn't make sense. Expelled for missing school. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I do think in certain circumstances you can miss school. So yeah, I'm gonna disagree with that one. Although I do think there should be some level of compulsory. I do not think that it should be completely compulsory. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people to keep to their own kind. Let me try to are you talking about race? Let me reread that one. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Do I think it's better that people should keep their own kind? I'm kind of neutral on that one because some people like to be around other cultures and some don't. I mean, I agree with you, Rin. I disagreed with that one, the school one. So. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different keep their own kind. I'm going to disagree with that one because there's no neutral one. Because if you want to, I do not think it's better or worse. I think it's kind of neutral. Although I do have my qualms about multiculturalism. Good parents sometimes have to spank. Good parents have to sometimes spank their children. You're going to hate me for this, but I'm going to strongly agree with that one. I was spanked as a child, and I'm normal, right? I'm joking. But I agree with this one. They make them sell lots of school merchandise so they can be profitable. Some tax dollars will have to help out. Museums are important. I agree with you to a degree, Rum of Orc, but I think that they will survive to a degree. So I think that people really like to look at the past, so I do not think that museums will go down. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Of course, I agree with that one. It is natural to a degree because, let me ask you a question. You've never kept any secrets from your parents? We've all kept some secrets from our parents. Taxation is theft. I have to pay taxes? Anyway. It is natural, given the parents, yeah. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I'm gonna take the libertarian stance on this one. If you want to smoke the wacky tobacco, be my guest. But don't, yeah. Duke go the word LL pay off them damn museum breakups. break up got to go back to school. LOL pay off them damn museums. Let me read Pink Rabbit. Sometimes museums display things people disagree with, even though they're technically paying for it. I see, like Piss Christ. Yeah, I'm a Christian and I didn't like that, but I mean, so I don't think they should be taxed. Yeah. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Yes. 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 Listen, this is going to sound terrible coming from me, especially somebody who's lived a privileged lifestyle as I can, but I don't think everybody should go to college. There's just some people who are not built for it, okay? Some people who just don't have the drive or the intelligence to be in college. I mean, create a trade school program at school, you know? Get people into welding, wood shop, bring back wood shop, you know? Kids need to learn, you know, some kids need to learn a trade. They'll be better learning a trade rather than, you know, going to college, you know, and getting a sociological degree and being in debt for their entire lives. That's my opinion. I strongly agree with that one. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. I'm going to disagree with that one. I don't want to get into eugenics on here. So, the most important thing for children is to learn to accept discipline. I agree. Sometimes you need to take if you do something wrong, you need to learn how to take the punches, you know. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures. I disagree with that one. Yeah. The people who do the people in the Middle East who do female genital mutilation, the people in the like people in Southern Asia, you know, in like the what is that country called? You know, certain tribes, primitive tribes doing cannibalism. Yes, there are savage people in this. There are savage tribes in this world. There are uncivilized. No, we're babies and don't create a bomb. Just much better than America is much better than the culture than the Middle East. I agree 100%. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not accept society's support. I strongly agree with this one. If you can work and you choose not to, you're a piece of crap, okay? When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. When you are troubled, it is better not to think about it, but to keep... Of course, I do not... Of course, you have to take care of those things that are troubling you, but at the same time, it's better to keep... For your mental health, it's better to keep... Oh, hey, JJ, what's going on, dude? Get the others in here. Get the others in here, please. And post the chat. Post the link to this in the cancer podcast. I really want them watching this. Oh, 46%... Excuse me, you guys. I just gotta get out the charger real fast and plug this in. You know, I don't want to run out of batteries while I'm doing this. So let me just put this right here. Yep, gay people don't deserve death. Exactly, JJ. Exactly. There we go. We're plugged in now. Oh, it actually went brighter. That's nice. Anyway, when you're troubled, it's better. I agree with that one. I do think, while you should take care of the things that are troubling you, it is better to, it is better also to, it's better to think positively rather than negatively. It's better on society. It's better on yourself and the people around you. First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated into their country. I mean, of course, they're coming into a world that's so... It depends on what society they come from, of course. I mean, if they come from, like, you know, the Middle East or a certain tribe in, like, you know, somewhere very primitive, it's going to be very hard for them to assimilate, for them to integrate into I do think a level of assimilation, although I do think that people from first-generation cultures are so connected to their country of origin that to a degree they'll never, like, fully... But on certain circumstances, this is not true, so I'm going to slightly disagree with that one. You know... What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. What is good for... Spanking causes autism. Spanking causes autism. Fact. That's pretty funny. What's good What's good for most successful corporations is ultimately good for all of us. I'm going to disagree with that one. That's not exactly... No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. How independent its content should receive public funding. I agree with this one. The government should not be giving to businesses. Period. JJ's all like, wrong. Spanking doesn't cause autism. JJ, not to be mean here, but I don't know if you're a good example. All right, let's keep going. I'm joking with you, JJ. Our civil liberties are excessively curved in the name of counterterrorism. I'm going to slightly agree with this one because the Fourth Amendment has been basically run over, you know. While I do think it's necessary to a degree, I do think that from a pragmatic standpoint that yes, our rights are being trampled over. So, yeah. Is anybody still watching this? Let me see real fast. 4 people watching this. JJ, as I said before, get the people watching this. Get S-Men and all of them in here. I want them watching this. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the argument that delay progress in a democratic political system. While that is true, I do not think that is a advantage. Okay. A differing opinion can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. Quote from Trump. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Although the makes official surveillance easier. Oh, I do not think so. Sometimes you can do... I disagree with this one, yeah. I mean, people should be... I mean, just because you might be thinking, like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong, but you could accidentally be breaking the law. I remember, you know, using somebody else's Wi-Fi's against... There were people that actually been thrown into prison for using other people's Wi-Fi, so... Yeah, I do think that privacy is an issue. Yeah, especially in stupid crimes like that. We don't want to create a 1984 type society. So, the death penalty should be an option. For the most serious crimes. I strongly agree with that one. If somebody has tortured, raped, and killed multiple young girls, yeah, they should die. Die. Anyway, in a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. In a civil, one must always have the people. I mean, to a degree, this is true. I mean, you should, but that leads to tyranny. So I'm going to disagree with that one. I do believe in an ordered society, but I also believe I'm going to watch porn. That's really nice of you to say that, JJ Skinner. You know, enjoy your black tranny porn. Anyway, abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. While people are trying different things, I do not think a hat on the floor. While people do tend to try different things, you know, I saw Paul Joseph Watson's video on this. You know, it's kind of true. I mean, pictures of fruit baskets do get old, but at the same time, I don't think lipstick on the floor or lipstick smeared across a woman's face is art. It's just, ugh. Anyway, abstract art. I'm gonna slightly disagree with this one. There should be more thought and attention and work put into your art. That's what makes it great. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I do think rehabilitation... This one's a tough one. The Nazis had that one degenerates exhibit, then burned the works. I'm not saying we should burn down abstract art. I just don't think it's art. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. This This one's a tough. Why is this a tough one for me? I guess I need to look at the statistics on this. Well, I do think the whole point of prison is rehabilitation. It's supposed to make you think about what you've done. It's almost like putting a boy in the corner or basically spanking him. For me, I strongly believe in rehabilitation. I don't want to give in to peer pressure, but I think you're kind of right, Rin. I'm going to slightly agree with this one. While I do think punishment is important too, I do think rehabilitation is slight. Although I do think there's certain people in this world who you're just not going to rehabilitate. And I think that's a logical standpoint. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. It is a waste of time to try and rehabilitate some criminals. That's actually what I just said. I strongly agree with that one. The business person and manufacturers are more important than the writer and the artist. I disagree with that one. I think writers and artists have an important place in society as well. I mean, while business is very important because it provides jobs and manufacturing, I also do think that writers and artists are important too. I do not think you should lay your whole life on it, but I do think that they are important as well. I'm going to slightly agree with that one. I'm a musician. I'm biased on this one, so forgive me. Should get them. Hello. Yeah. Mothers, but murders should get the death penalty. I agree with you, Rin. Mothers have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Oh, great. Here's the, I'm going to strongly agree with that one. I'm joking. Well, women can have careers. I do think on average that women usually are better mothers than men. I know, and I know that's kind of comedic to say, and Hollywood are full of writers and artists, and they have huge influence in society. That is true. That is true. Is to be homemakers. I slightly agree with that one. Women usually most of the time, about like 80% of the time, usually want to have children. And I do think it's healthier for society that women, you need a parent homemaker. I agree with you that one. I'm going to agree with that one. While I do think women can have careers, I do not think that in all aspects that is the best. I do think some women are better at being mothers than being, the leaders of multi-million corporations. So, multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. What? Let me try to read that again. That was very complicated. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. What do you mean by exploiting? I mean, yes, I know that like countries in Africa are the ones who usually, make like broccoli and so on and so forth. But they grow a lot of our plants, but I do not think that anything from Africa, I do not think there's a high amount of exploitation, at least not anymore in Africa. Most of these are not compulsory, but are very, they do it on their own will. They become farmers on their own will because usually that's their only option. Some people might say that's coercion, but I do not think it is. I mean, if you make a decision, that's a decision. So multinational companies are unethically exploiting. I'm going to disagree with that one. So do they mean blood diamonds? I mean, they're talking about plants. They're talking about plants, Rin, so no, I'm going to disagree. Not the plant resources, maybe the diamonds and maybe the coltan, especially China. But the these things are full of coltan, which is if you look at the coltan trade down in the Congo, it's pretty horrific. But at the same time, Apple and certain companies have gone through steps in order to filter out any coltan that may be in their any coltan that might be in their that they may be using. So yeah. Anyway, making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Yes, finding a place, not being rebellious not being a deviant is important. So I'm going to go agree with that one. I'm going to strongly agree with this one. It is a big part of maturity. All right, next page. Astrology Astrology? What? That's with space, right? That's space, right? That's space, right? Astrology accurately explains many things. I agree, I guess. I mean, I think space. I don't know anything about space, but you cannot be moral without being religious. I agree. I'm joking. I mean, I slightly disagree. Just because somebody is not religious does not mean they're going to be evil. So, zodiac planets, I figured it out. Don't worry. I wasn't expecting that. So, yeah, I disagree. You don't have. Well, I do think it helps. I do not think that you have to be religious in order to be, a good person. So, yeah. Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Yeah, I do think man, that's a tough one. I do believe charity helps a lot. I mean, Social Security has helped a ton too, but I do think that charity, there's a lot more genuine. There's a lot more, you could say, it's more real, you could say. There's more, there's better intention. It's not, the intentions aren't, neutral, it's not just a functionality. There is actually these genuine, good-hearted people who are going out and, well, that may, and also Social Security doesn't, motivate people to get out of their circumstances as much as a charity might. They may feel like, these people have helped me, I should probably go out and help society as the payback that back. So I'm gonna slightly agree with that one. Well, I do think on a monetary basis, Social Security has helped me. Okay, I'm back from my FAP session. Okay. Okay, JJ. JJ, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that's a very Christian thing that you're watching pornography, but in fact, I know it's not a very Christian thing. I've stopped watching that because I feel like I need to, get more connected with my faith. I mean, pornography is not a healthy habit. But anyway, I'm not going to shame you, JJ, on here. So, some people are naturally unlucky. Some people are unnaturally lucky. That is true. Some people are naturally lucky. Being lucky in itself is natural, but luck is there's not. Some people are not more likely to be lucky than others, but naturally unlucky. I'm joking around. Some people are naturally unlucky. Are naturally unlucky. Some people are naturally unlucky. I know, but it is healthy to do it. JJ, I would, pornography has a lot of negative effects on the brain, but if I were you, I would at least try to do it without watching a video. It decreases the chance of getting prostate cancer. I'm not talking about, physical benefits. I'm talking about mental benefits. But anyway, I'm going to, I need to get back on my tangent. Some people are naturally unlucky. I do not think it's naturally unlucky. I'm going to disagree with this one because it's kind of hard for me to, let me see, people are still watching. Yeah, 5. Yeah. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. I do not think that goes against the First Amendment, so I'm going to disagree with that one. I do think it is important to instill morals and values into kids, and I think school can be used for that, but I do not think religious morals and values in themselves, because I do not think schools should be instilling the values of Islam. And I think we can all agree on that. So, next page. Next page. There's a reason why religion is not, why they say nobody should put, sorry God, I'm weak. Sex outside of marriage. Talk to him about that. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. I strongly agree with this statement. I do think, well, I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. I don't think it's the same as murder, but at the same time, it's not a moral choice to make in life. So, yeah. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Oh dear, I'm gonna cause a lot of hopefully I don't cause any controversy, or I'm not. There must be the slope. The broadcast must be a lot slower than the because there must be a long gap between the people watching this and me saying all this stuff. But anyway, a same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship not be excluded from the child adoption. I've heard that the statistics on this are not really good, but I do think that some children are that this would help with the possibility of children being adopted. But at the same time, it may not be maybe more mentally healthy for a child to be that. There's a kind of balance. Might be more healthy for a child to have a father and a mother in the household, And some people saying that this is the same as black people getting to marry white people. It's not the same thing. A black mommy and a white daddy can do the same. Can probably do the same thing as two white parents, but I do not think that a man and a man can do the same as what a man and a woman can do. Of course it may have negative it may have negative effects on the child's development, but at the same time it may not. It may I'd rather have two gay parents than no parents. I agree with that, Rin, but to a degree. That's kind of a trade-off. It's a trade-off type thing, so I'm going to agree with that one, I suppose. I'm libertarian. Don't think people should be prevented from that, although you also have, have marriage. But anyway, you also have not polyphony, polygamy, but anyway, that's a thing for if you don't get adopted at all, your life is fucked. I agree. So I'm going to agree with that one. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. I agree with this one, but I don't think it has good effects. JJ was just doing that right now. So. When pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Yes, I agree with that. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I disagree with that one. I'm joking. I'm going to strongly agree with that one. It's your life. What you do is fine. Okay? Between two consenting adults. No children. Pedophilia is evil. It's evil, and you should be killed if you do it. Anyway, keep going. No one can feel naturally homosexual. What do you mean by naturally homosexual? What do you mean by naturally homo? You mean like you feel like I woke up and like you were a baby? Pedophiles should die. I agree. I don't think children from when they're babies. You have people who are born no one can feel. I think he's saying that nobody's actually. I think he's saying that nobody's actually gay. I think you might be right. Some people may feel that it's natural for them. I think the whole reason why people are gay is because it does feel natural for them. I think I'm going to get so much flack for what I'm about to say right now, but I do think to a degree, that homosexuality is a mental illness because there is no biological need for it. I'm not going to put down any gay people. I'm not against, the same rights for gay people as, straight, but at the same time, it's just, there is no biological function for it. They can't reproduce. They can't, it's just, it makes, from a purely scientific standpoint, it makes no sense why from a purely scientific standpoint, homosexuality should not exist. That's my only thing. I don't think that it should be labeled as a, I think mother has it for population control. I think what they're saying is that it's completely genetic. I'm gonna slightly disagree with that one. So anyway, Yeah, these days, openness about sex has gone too far. I slightly agree about this. I mean, I don't think people should. I think there's a theory gay people are like evolution's babysitters. That may be a funny. I don't know if you're joking or not, but that sounds like an interesting theory. You could, if you're going after this video is after I'm done streaming, put the citation. If you can find the citation, put it in the comments below, please. I'd like that. All right. The last question: do I think openness about sex has gone too far? I slightly agree with that. I slightly agree. I mean, I do think that there is a gay parents aren't real desu. What desu? What does that mean? And anyway, these days openness about sex has gone too far. I agree. Slightly. Yeah, I do think while people should talk about sex to a degree, I do not think that, you should be talking about, butt plugs with your children. I just don't think that's a proper thing to be doing. But anyway, I'm talking about butt plugs with your children. Oh, dear. That's horrible. Anyway, now let's see where you stand. Let's see where I stand. Desu means is, thank you. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Let's see what I am up here. Let's. Oh no, that doesn't show it. The economic scale. Authoritarian. Hitler. Hopefully, I'm not near Stalin or Hitler, Thatcher, Friedman. I'm probably nearest the Friedman. Let's take a look. Slightly. I'm in the normal range. I'll be dang. I'm in the very moderate range. I'll be dang. I'm slightly. I mean, I've taken this test. I mean, that looks right. I mean, there was one time when I took this test, I was right here, and another time when I took this test, I was right here. But I think this is kind of the middle ground, I would say. What do you guys think? Tell me what you guys think about this. I'll wait because I want to see. This is kind of right because I do put a little bit of emphasis on order. My views are very flexible and they're very circumstantial. So the thing about political tests like this is that they're you're more authoritarian than me. Yeah, Rin, I am. But anyway, this makes kind of sense. I mean, I consider myself a libertarian because I guess libertarianism in a way is kind of a very moderate view if you think about it, because libertarians, while they may believe in certain moral values in the same way as Republican, in the same way as like Ted Cruz or something, or like a very strong Republican, they may not feel that it's the state's. They just don't feel that it's the state's responsibility to enforce those. But I'm more authoritarian, but I'm higher up. You're Hitler! Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'm more authoritarian, but I'm higher up. Yeah, I was a little higher up as well. I was right around here, but one time I was right down here, right by Milton Friedman, actually. I actually saw a really funny meme which talked about, which put all of these into a category. It was pretty funny. But anyway, it was really nice talking to you all. I really enjoyed doing this, and I really enjoyed. I hope you be sure to share this around, please, because I really want you all to watch this. So I really want more people to see this, So anyway, hope you all enjoyed watching this. Incredible Aspie. I was the Incredible Aspie. Peace out, everybody.